Rob Van Dam, listening to True Hill Heat. Pow.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our WWE Bad Blood 2024 preview. And I am joined by all of my good friends that usually join me on camera here.
You only have two friends?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
all of them? Like
I only have two friends that usually join me for these pay-per-view previews, but another friend that usually joins me for a Raw review, but he's here with us now. But first up, we have my good friend who's been joining us for the WWE PLE previews this year from coexisting with Rob and Maggie. It is Maggie. How are you?
Let me tell you how much I adore you two. So like I've been so it's not a secret that our friend Supi is visiting me in Bulgaria. So he's been here for since Monday, and like we had this whole day planned for me to show him around. And then SP3 texted me and he was like, "Do you want to do the show on at 8 p.m. your time?" On Wednesday, and Supi's right in front of me in the bar while I'm working. I'm like, what do you say we cut it short and then I just go home and like do a show with SP3 and Robert DeFelice? So like that is it. Like I cut a whole day short. Like we climbed one of our highest hills in Plovdiv. It was a long climb. It was a really really physical day when we got a bite to eat, and I'm like, okay, let's go hang out with my boys. How are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm so happy. I feel very special now. You just
You
made me feel
need
so
to.
special.
You need
I
to.
usually don't feel special because I live with two 4-year-olds who always want themselves to be special. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I need that type of love. But we also got with us my good friend from Fightful, from numerous other sites. He's a writer extraordinaire and he loves saying his opinions. My former arch nemesis when it comes to wrestling trivia, but now a good friend. Robert DeFelice is here. How are you?
I'm doing good. There's no bad blood. Maggie, we are gonna coexist. I'm not the usual Rob, but I'd like to think that I fill that role quite nicely. And yeah, I couldn't be more excited about this, as evident by the fact that I don't say yes to appearing on camera a lot, but I'll say it for you guys because you
Why?
guys are the best in the world.
You need
Oh,
to say yes to being on camera. You're a wonderful, wonderful smile, right? With Kate,
That is what they say, yes.
Yeah, it was what they say. Also, no one can replace Rob. First of all, I adore Rob.
Well,
Rob's
this is
my
great.
boy. Yeah, Rob's great. You are a different kind of Robert,
I
which
am.
could not be replaced also. So like
look at that.
I love all Robs, like all two of them.
I think you got the wrong people for a Bad Blood podcast. This doesn't seem to fit
Yeah,
the
you were so
theme of the
lovely.
show.
No,
You
but
guys
like,
are so lovely. There's all
wait
good blood
until
here.
wait until we start talking about the show. Like, wait until.
That's the key. That's the key. Thank you guys for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on WWE Bad Blood, your predictions, your thoughts on the feuds going in, and a lot. Have some bad blood indeed. And we'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, hit the $ and send a super chat donation. You can become a part of the conversation as only we can, and we'll do some CEO with you. We got in the chat already. I Make Beats, who said stoked for this pay-per-view. Let's go. It's PLE, sir, not PPV. PLE. Get it right.
I'm sorry.
Get
Yeah,
it
these are
right.
Premium events, damn it. We're still
Premium.
paying for them, but they're premium.
You're paying much cheaper than a pay-per-view.
That is true.
Premium. We also got Vala B, who says Maggie talking about how much she loves her friends. She's got no bad blood with anyone. There you go.
No, I wouldn't go that far. Like, I have pretty bad blood with myself, so like that's.
I can also attest to that because, this is more like people who just have good blood for everyone else and just bad blood when they look in the mirror.
Yeah, you piece of trash. Why aren't you pretty today? And just
Exactly. Exactly.
You cut promos on yourself. That's the
Yeah.
best. That's the best people to practice with.
Well, we work for Fightful, so.
This is true. This is true. This is true. Vala B says, if you got hate in your heart like I do for a certain someone on this card, you will be fit to preview the show, but your hate is going to die inside of Hell in a Cell, if you're quoting Drew McIntyre. Apparently, that's what he said.
Please
But we got to get into the card. Of course, this is a 5-match card because Triple H, Paul Levesque continues to be a 5-match merchant. That's why nobody my complexion can get on these shows because he loves 5 matches.
Yes.
But I mean, hey, thanks for the report. And he finally noticed. You know what? We haven't had any black people on a pay-per-view in a while.
It's that
We're
and
gonna
their
do something.
obsession with making the Raw after and the SmackDown before also kind of extensions of the show, because realistically, why isn't a triple threat ladder match on the pay-per-view? Or why
Exactly.
isn't the World Heavyweight Championship match on the pay-per-view? But I think that recent backlash and report might start making these maybe 6-match cards. Maybe we get Carmelo Hayes on the card. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a really happy, in between AEW having 16-hour pay-per-views and AEW and like WWE having, 5 matches. There's a happy medium there. TNA
Nobody
knows
wants
what I'm
to
talking about,
embrace
but like
that,
that's
They just want extremes, Maggie.
yeah. You're muted. You're muted. Sweetie,
You're muted.
SP3, you're muted.
You're muted.
You still muted.
We can't hear you.
There we go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't- They said my browser lost connection. I didn't get the memo until you guys told me. And I clicked on the right microphone to have. I got to be careful with this wire over here.
Please.
But I was like, even AEW, they've kind of gone away from the double digits because the last 2 pay-per-views had 9 matches for All In, 8 matches for All Out. So I just need WWE to kind of meet us, go that way, way towards that. Like AEW went in the opposite direction. They're going a little bit tamer. We just need WWE to just be a little bit more extravagant.
7 matches is fine. And less advertisements during my pay-per-views, by the way.
I'm saying you could cut like 30 minutes of ads and add a match. I'm just saying.
I'm glad that they're exploring their options with advertisements, but I think less Wheatley American Vodka ads might lead to more time on pay-per-view.
That is true. That is a good point. Good point. We got a bunch of people joining us in the chat, like Mark Andre Bertard. I'll just call you Mark Andre because I can't pronounce your last name.
That's Soupy,
Hello.
by the way.
Oh, that's Soupy! Hey! Hey, welcome.
Hey.
He says hello to you, nice people. I'm sorry I cut your day short, but I'm glad you're here with us.
He's
But
happy
yes.
to sleep also, so like that's better.
See, medium. See, you go in that direction.
Got to meet in the middle. Meet in the
Meet
middle.
in-
That's what we're trying to do here.
Meet in the middle like a DIY finisher. But Maggie, we will start with you. How we usually start these pay-per-view previews. What is your hype level for WWE Bad Blood this Sunday from 0 to 10?
It's about 4, but it's not their fault.
Fair.
It's just, I've been dealing with other, crap, but like I'm gonna know that because have you noticed how often I say that I'm not that hyped about the show, and then the show is really good and I enjoy it immensely. The stupid thing is the show is on a Saturday, and I have a problem with Saturday shows. It's like I know that everyone over at the States is pretty hyped up, about Saturday pay-per-views and everything, and I get it. But for me in Bulgaria, I have to watch it on a Sunday, and I'm working on Sunday, which means I have to get up really early before work and watch it. Otherwise, when I'm watching, pay-per-views that were live on Sunday, I usually get up in the morning, have my coffee, and just watch the pay-per-view like a normal person because I'm working the night shift and I have time. And that's why I don't agree with Saturday night pay-per-views, but I get why it's better for you guys over there. It's Saturday night pay-per-views always get me a bit down in excitement levels. Having in mind that last time when I was watching All Out, I was watching under extreme circumstance. I was working all night. I was on an hour and a half sleep, and I had to watch the show before work, and did not go well. So Saturday night pay-per-views are not a thing for me. I mean, like All Out, we got a lot of hardcore stuff on that pay-per-view, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I went to work and I remembered nothing, and I'm not even kidding. I remembered nothing from that pay-per-view while just how gruesome it was. Zero. And I'm like, I need to just watch that again. So it's a big no-no for me, but I get why you guys are hyped. But it's a 4 and not their fault. Maybe.
Okay. That's fair. At least it's starting at what, 1 a.m. your time? It's starting a little bit earlier than it usually would start. So
I'm still not watching live.
I get it. I definitely understand. Robert, what about you? What's your hype level 0 to 10 for Bad Blood?
So just Bad Blood alone, I would say the hype is probably at about a 6 for me. Now it is on a Saturday, which I don't like because it's going to inevitably bleed into Collision. And these promotions need to stop doing these, hey, we're going to have concurrent shows at the same time, because sometimes you just want to watch one show. But that being said, this does seem to be an important show. It's Roman's first match since Mania. It's, you've got Cody in there. I'm sure we might see the end of the Rhea Dom Liv thing. So I'm hyped to see where are we going from here, because this is into Survivor Series, which is basically after that it's all Mania. So that's really fun. So I would say about a 6 for now.
You know what? I will be the high man for us, and I will go to a solid 7. I'm at like a 7. I like the rivalries that they have put on this show. I would say 4 out of the 5 matches are really like bad blood. There's bad blood between these, rivals, whether it be Terra Twins and Judgment Day, Roman and Cody and the Bloodline, and Punk and Drew. I think that there is solid builds, but like I said, I think if they added, like Robert said, the World Heavyweight Championship match of Gunther versus Sami Zayn to this card, my number would be much higher. It'll probably be at like around an 8 if you added a 6 match. And it felt like for a long time with the build that they were going to add that 6 match and really get me hyped up for Saturday. But still, these 5 match cards, I have an issue with them. I don't like the fact that there's no, African Americans on the show. Triple H never beaten those allegations until he gets Carmelo Hayes on one of these shows. So here we go. But
they could still add like a 3-way dance for the United States Championship. You still have time to just do the thing. They haven't announced a 2-hour pre-show, but they've been doing them. You've got to imagine that we'll be there. Throw one of those matches on the pre-show.
And this is my issue with WWE Preview Live events. There's a lot of time with no wrestling on WWE Preview Live events. Between the pre-show and the main show, we have about 3 hours of no wrestling.
I always ask this question, okay? So like they're doing these amazing video packages that we're all aware that they're really good at, yeah? So like they're showing them throughout the entire pre-show, which is fucking 2 hours long. And then what they do is show those same video packages before every match. And I'm like, we fucking sell those. What?
Well, in the States, that's only if you pay for the premium of Peacock, because otherwise you're getting like a Mr. Clean ad or a Domino's ad during your pay-per-view, which is absolutely asinine, but that's just where we are now, and I get it. And it's kind of like you said with the whole meeting in the middle, where it's like, I think AEW doesn't allow enough breaks in between matches. I think WWE, there's too many chances to go to the bathroom or get a soda or get a snack, because there should be more wrestling on these shows.
Well, the thing is, AEW not allowing you to have, much time between matches is basically them realizing and knowing that they had about 8 matches too much on their cards. And that's why they don't. And I'm like, okay, so you don't have 4 pay-per-views a year anymore. You don't need to have 1,000 matches on your card. Otherwise, I understand it still sucked, but you have more pay-per-views now. So you just cut it out. And it's the totally same with the total opposite with WWE, and it's weird. Just give me some time for me to go to the bathroom, or fucking cut it out. So I can, have one more match probably with a black person. So I just want to,
Okay, so we've brought it up like 5 times already. There's no way the next card doesn't have a black male superstar on it, right?
I mean, it is in Saudi Arabia.
I think you'll see Mello on the show at least.
I would hope, but I won't hold my breath. Won't hold my breath at all. But let's get into this card for Bad Blood on Saturday. And the fact that one more time, I'm sorry. The fact that this show is in Atlanta, Georgia, it's a damn shame. There's no black people on this card. They promoted the show off Metro Boomin. They had Triple H was like, "Oh man, I don't have any black people on this show. Hey, Jade and Bianca, you want to guest host?" That's the most black representation we can get in Atlanta.
Yeah, missed the boat on that one.
Is Steven going to the show?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll ask him. But let's get into the card. Let's start off with Steven Jensen's favorite wrestler in the world, the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, will team up for the very first time with his arch nemesis, the Tribal Chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns, to verse the Bloodlines, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa. Of course, this all stems back from WrestleMania 40, when Cody finally finished the story defeating Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Following that show, Roman Reigns took some time off, and Solo Sikoa took over the Bloodline as the new tribal chief, taking out Jimmy Uso, bringing in Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, and then finally Jacob Fatu, ejecting the wise man Paul Heyman from the group, all making these changes, calling out Roman Reigns month after month. Then he faced Cody for the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and it was Roman Reigns' return who took out Solo Sikoa, costing him that matchup. Solo eventually got a rematch inside of a steel cage against Cody Rhodes on the premiere of SmackDown on the USA, with Cody winning. The Bloodline went to attack Cody after the matchup, but it was Roman Reigns who came out to make the save, and this led to Solo and Jacob Fatu challenging Cody and Roman to a tag team matchup at this show, Bad Blood. Cody and Roman decided to get on the same page on common ground in Cody's hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, in Roman's home field of the place he played college football at Georgia Tech for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, in a cinematic encounter that they had where they decided to have each other's back. But Roman let Cody know that he is coming for what's his, the championship. And he also let Cody know that he's in his way in life. This all comes down to, you also got the outside kind of factors in this matchup of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa for the Bloodline, but also for Cody, Kevin Owens, who is not too pleased with Cody teaming up with his arch rival Roman Reigns, as well as Randy Orton, who's questioned Cody for teaming with Roman as well. Well, how do you think all of these factors will turn out in this dramatic tag team matchup? And the second question I got for y'all, do you think this matchup headlines Bad Blood, and should it headline Bad Blood? We'll start with you, Maggie.
Okay, first of all, you're reading all of this from a script, right? Like it's not,
No.
you're not just,
No.
okay, fuck.
No.
Okay.
The only time I
you
read
do
from
the
a
trivia.
script is yes. The only time I read from a script is on the flagship podcast, because that's a lot of information from a week in wrestling. When
Okay,
I do
that's
these shows,
not
it's off
a lot
the
of-
top of the. No, that's not a lot.
Sure, yeah, okay. So, how bad is it that I don't give a fuck about this match?
I think that's bad if you're working for the company because that is your main angle. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're not the only one, because I think bloodline fatigue is at an all-time high. Even with the injected new blood, I think people are just over the angle. So I don't think you're the only one.
I've heard this a lot.
Yes, I can. How I think that disqualification is a right way to do it, and by right I mean the only way this can continue, existing as a moving storyline, because I'm extremely enjoying the fact that Cody Rhodes was at the top only because Roman was not there. And I'm enjoying this because it makes Steven Jensen so incredibly angry. But because he has a show with Jeremy, okay? And you know that Jeremy is not gonna let it slide. Yeah? Like never. And
No.
it's incredibly entertaining to watch. And like, if I low-key wanted Cody Rhodes to lose this year at WrestleMania again, just for the soul chaos of it. But of course, they did the right thing, so like that's totally fine. So he was at the top, but the moment he was at the top, everyone started, enjoying Roman Reigns more. And now they're chanting for Roman Reigns. Of course, the Let's Go Cody, and the woes will not die. These chants will be there forever. I understand that. But, the hardcore fans always appreciated Roman Reigns. Like they were booing him just because they were supposed to be booing him. And now they want him back because he was taken away from them. It's like little children, yeah? Like, I don't want to play with this toy, but now that someone took it away, I want to play with this toy again. Um, I'm enjoying this, but like the storyline itself, I because I when Solo Sikoa was a part of NXT, and I was like, call him up on the main roster right now. He's ready. Like he has a place to be. Like he has an immediate storyline which he can work and everything. He's fine. Just call him up. And then they did, and then what the fuck happened? What is like? Why is it not working? And I this is a legitimate question. Why isn't Solo Sikoa working? And why is Jacob Fatu the one that is the one? And because, like, for some annoying reason, people think that Solo Sikoa cannot go in the ring, and that's not the case. Like, Solo Sikoa is good. And I like when you're in the ring with Jacob Fatu, I can understand why you would think that because like those are different levels of wrestling. But what happened that people automatically thought that Solo Sikoa is ruining the bloodline? I'm not asking what happened because he's supposed to be a heel now and everyone's supposed to be booing him. I understand that. But people are saying that he's ruining the bloodline. Where is that coming from? I don't care about the match. Cody and Roman will win about with probably with a DQ, like exactly like your wonderful people are saying in the chat. And that's probably, it. It's gonna lead to different stuff, obviously. But yes.
I mean, there's a lot to unwrap there.
But there are a lot of great questions addressed there because the reality is the minute that Roman Reigns lost the championship and people realized, oh shit, he's going away, it became, we want Roman. When people were bitching, it didn't matter who they put him up against. Okay, look, I like LA Knight. I need to preface that with what I'm about to say. There were people who were convinced LA Knight's the guy just to get it off of Roman, which is
Fucking no.
bullshit. Which is
Yes.
absolute bullshit. And Maggie has a point. What did Solo do? Solo, I saw someone say he's the worst champion since Jinder, like the worst pushed guy since Jinder. I don't remember who that was.
Yeah.
I don't want to attribute it to any Twitter account. It was definitely on Twitter. But God, Solo was fine.
He
And then they
was.
put a spotlight on him, and you're like, I hate this. I hate this because it's being pushed down my throat. It's like that Roman 2015 vibe. But then you throw in Jacob Fatu, and then you really go, oh, fuck. Because Jacob Fatu is every bit of what Solo thinks he is for Roman. And Jacob Fatu is every bit of charismatic that Roman really is. And it just feels so damning. And all that being said, I don't know. It's working for the company. Like, people are excited. Roman's back full time. I saw a lot of these tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back full time. He's got a lot of contracted dates still, and they missed him for 6 months. Of course, they're gonna get him in for the next 6 episodes of SmackDown. He's not full time. He's just fulfilling his contractual obligations. Like, the one thing I'll say is Solo's winning here. He has to win because we've got to go to War Games. If Solo loses here, how the hell are we getting to Survivor Series with this? Outside of really just forcing it. I'm going to say Solo and Jacob win here because either Kevin gets involved, Randy gets involved, or for the love of God, they've had Hikuleo sitting around somewhere. I don't know how long.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
You
Yeah.
can't
It's been
really
like
hide the man.
It's been nearly 4 months for
You can't
Hikuleo
hide the
sitting
man.
on
He's
this
tall. He's a big, big boy. And I think he's probably going to get involved, help Solo and Jacob get the win. I think it would mean more if Roman gets pinned by Solo and Cody is left to his own devices to either take on Randy at Survivor Series or Kevin or whomever. But I think Bloodline has to win here because, as Maggie has rightly laid out, so many people just sleep on Solo, and you need to make him still feel like a threat.
That's why I would like, okay, because of the chaos again, I would like for Solo to pin Cody so that Roman can blame Cody for, losing. And he's like, see, like you're not that, as big as you're saying like that you are and everything. Also, I probably think that Tangaloa and Tama Tonga are definitely not helping, the fact that the way Solo has been viewed, because how the hell am I supposed to take seriously someone who just doesn't do it for me in the ring, and another one who hasn't had his rabies shot? Like, what is
I like that. I think it gives him a different vibe because Tama Tonga is charismatic as fuck, and
He is.
can't be
He
that right
is.
now. So he's got to be, yeah. It's working.
It is working. It is working because we're talking about him, so it's working. And yes, Tongaloa might be actively the worst in-ring performer that's ever been in the Bloodline. Saying all of that, to answer your question, I mean, there's a lot to unwrap there. I think the reason why Solo isn't working in the Bloodline, it's very much a self-fulfilling prophecy. What was all the reports that we got when they signed Jacob Fatu and were keeping him on the sideline? It was that WWE feared that Jacob Fatu would overshadow or make Solo Sikoa look bad. And as soon as Jacob Fatu debuted on the main roster, that's immediately what happened. Everybody was like, oh no, he's not the guy. That's the guy.
That's the guy.
That's the guy. It's not this guy. This guy's trying to be the guy, but he ain't the guy. That guy came and he's immediately the guy. That's what happened. And then it doubles down on that when Roman Reigns comes back, where I'm at the point where I was one of the first guys that when Solo turned after WrestleMania, I was like, okay, yeah, this is the setting in motion a 1-year storyline. It's going to be Solo versus Roman at next year's WrestleMania because Rock's going to be busy with Cody. You could do Roman and Solo for who's the tribal chief at WrestleMania. Now, 2 months after Roman returned, I'm like, yeah, get this Solo matchup out the way because Jacob Fatu needs to face Roman at WrestleMania now. Like I jumped on that bandwagon too, where I'm just like, yeah, Jacob Fatu is the real guy. We need to build that. That's the matchup.
When the company makes that the storyline, though, where you got Cody going, I don't want you, I want this guy, and you got Roman going, come on, like it's never a good sign for the talent. But that being said, like this comment says, if Solo loses, he's a certified bum, and that's why I don't think he's losing yet.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with Robert, where I think we're going to get the Bloodline somehow, some way, getting the win. And I think the way to do it is to either have Hikuleo debut, but Big Man Dogs is right that a lot of the indications and the internal roster that came out has said that Tala Tonga, aka Hikuleo, is going to start off on NXT, which I said from the moment he got signed by WWE, I said that's the right choice because he was still developing in New Japan. He needs to develop further coming to WWE, so put him in NXT, have him follow the Solo Sikoa route, but keep him in NXT a little bit longer than you did Solo because as we see, probably should have done that with Solo. But I think that this is the key to this, is that the story going into the show has really been about Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, the outliers of this whole situation. Yeah. So I think that Tama Tonga and Tongaloa try to interfere. Owens and Orton get rid of him. Roman's in the ring, and he's about to make the hot tag to Cody, and one of the baby faces pull Cody off of the apron so he doesn't get that hot tag, and either we get an RKO on the floor or a stunner on the floor for one of those guys turning heel. Because Cody, in any other world, Orton or Owens would be top 5 most over baby faces in WWE right now. But WWE has turned into a legit baby face company where there are like 5 to 6 guys that are actually more over than Orton and Owens, where they would benefit so much if they flip the script and go on the other side where they can become either a top 5 heel. So I think that all of the story being about Owens not being able to hide his emotion about his being upset with Cody and Roman teaming up, I think it's a red herring where Orton is going to be the one that turns first and he drops Cody to set up Cody
versus Orton, because I feel like that's the rivalry that has more legs on it, where you can get Cody finally away from the bloodline and still have him in a top program.
This is actually a really good point, but I'm gonna have to take it, the other way around. So, like, Orton and Kevin Owens are like kind of have a problem with Cody teaming up with Roman Reigns, especially Kevin Owens. Orton not so much, like, but like he's still not that okay with it. So like they can be outside evening the odds against the bloodline with Tama Tonga and Tangaloa and everything. But at some point, Cody has to make a tag to Roman sitting on the apron, and then they pull Roman and like either RKO to Roman or a stunner to Roman. And like Cody is left in the ring by himself, and Cody gets pinned because see, I really want Cody to get pinned, okay? Like I want carnage. I want Cody to get pinned. I want the carnage. I want the hate. Okay, the online hate that I obviously don't see anymore because I'm not that online anymore, which is so great. But you can give more room to Orton and Cody, because like they can have a back and forth between what did you do it, but it was a passion thing, and maybe it wasn't okay and everything, and then they turn on him anyway. They can stretch it out a little more, because like they have a case for beating up Roman, because in their eyes it's never late to beat up Roman. Like,
well, you convinced me to change my pick. I'm going with Cody and Roman to win, because I don't want to see Solo Sikoa pin Cody, because that means we're getting another Solo Sikoa versus Cody matchup, and y'all should just end on the high. Y'all had y'all best match together in the steel cage on SmackDown. End on that high. We don't need a third match between y'all. I think the only outcome that I can see the bloodline winning is if Solo is the one that pins Roman, or Jacob. No, it'll be Jacob Fatu does the work, and then Solo gets the pin on either guy. So I think that the right move is probably having Cody and Roman get the win and save the turn for Orton and KO on another time, especially because I think, to answer the other question of this, I don't think this should main event the show. I think this should kick off the show, get the crowd hyped up with one of your top programs, and then end the show with Hell in a Cell. But Robert, what do you think should end the show? Do you think this match should?
I think Hell in a Cell should end the show. I do miss the days when that ending the show wouldn't mean that this has to open the show. I don't like that now everything is just, well, we're going to sandwich it with our two best matches rather than a natural progression to the top matches on the show. But you're probably right. This will probably kick it off. And I think it's easier to see Roman taking the pin, because right now you're telling the he's losing story. He's a loser. He lost at Mania. He can lose again. Like, he's fallible now. He can lose again. And I think that's the story you're going to tell. So I do see Solo getting that win.
That's fair.
I really don't want this to main event, the pay-per-view whatsoever, because like there's one thing that makes me hyped about this pay-per-view is actually Drew and Punk. So I'm pretty sure that this has to, close out the show. Does it open with this? I don't know. It probably should, but like, tell me when Roman Reigns opened up a pay-per-view last.
It's been a while. Because he like Chase said, he usually goes by the rule of, if he ain't main eventing, he's opening, so he can get the hell up out of there before the main event even starts. And only time he broke that rule. Only time he broke that rule was this year's Royal Rumble, where he went second from the top.
Yeah, but like,
I think it might have been the Goldberg match. For some reason, I'm thinking Goldberg, but
probably because the headline of the show was the Elimination Chamber, so that probably opened the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen, because Supi and I talked about Goldberg for some reason today, the fact that I've mentioned the name Goldberg 4 times today, I kind of want to make me look that.
I understand. We
can't make Maggie sick. She left Supi
to not get sick, so that we can't get her sick by
Please.
mentioning Goldberg again. But I just had to check if it did open the show, and yes, Robert is correct. That's the last time Roman opened the show was Elimination Chamber 2022.
Oh, that's not that far back.
No.
No, that's 2 years ago.
Ah, okay. I thought it was a decade ago. Okay.
No.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of people who think it should open the show as well, but we shall see. Comes this Saturday, but we got Bloodline for Robert. Me, I'm going with Roman and Cody. And Maggie, you're saying that
Roman
Bloodline?
Cody. Roman and Cody. I said that, the other way around should be better because I want to watch the world burn. I will not mind if Cody gets pinned. I don't want Roman pinned whatsoever. No. He has to be the cocky guy that says, I left and what did you do after that? And he can make a point out of Cody winning being a fluke because he's still carrying the match and everything. I really want Cody to get pinned, but I'm picking Cody and Roman because for some reason, I don't know.
Hey,
that's a fun idea in theory, but I'm so tired of the on-screen rhetoric being, well, I, as a part-time guy, am better than you because I don't have to come to work, and look at how much of a flop you are. I'm just tired of that being on screen.
I mean, is it not false? Is it not true though? Because I've compared this before. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Cody Rhodes' current reign is very much the 1988 reign of Macho Man Randy Savage.
I don't care for it.
He got the title, but Hogan's still around. Hogan's still the number one guy, despite not having the title. That's Cody. Cody has the title, but Roman's still around, and Roman still feels like the number one guy.
See, I think it's more of a Brett 94. I think Brett gets the belt, but it's just, as much as you have top stars, it's just not that, impactful of a ride as it would have been when Hogan was around a year before. They're doing their best and they're giving the fans what they said they wanted. It's not their fault that, everybody realized, I don't think I want a full-time champion if it's not full-time Roman.
That's a good point. Maybe people just wanted Roman to be full-time. They didn't necessarily want someone else to be a full-time champion.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep coming with those comments in the live chat with your predictions. We do have a super chat donation here. First from our good friend Rob Wilkins is here. He says for the
Don't read it. Don't read it.
JEFF JARRET. That is double J Jeff Jarrett.
It's not even an AEW pay-per-view, sweetie. I'm gonna shout at you in 2 days, obviously.
Well, what's wrong with JEFF JARRET? What's wrong with
really
that?
want me to answer this question?
Well,
do you know it's his world? Bree woo.
Hey, but Maggie, ain't he great?
Oh, he's so fantastic, Robert. I enjoy watching him wrestle and take up TV time so much.
He spends his day working hard for the dough, but the hands on the clock, they keep spinning real slow. And he can't wait to say hello to his baby tonight.
I will leave the stream immediately.
Yeah, Peter, don't piss her off.
See what you did there. We got King Ellie Show with another super chat donation. Thank you, King Ellie Show. He says Cody and Roman main event. The Rock shows up. I keep seeing a lot of people say this. I think that The Rock's gonna show up. I saw this on the USA debut for SmackDown. Now I'm seeing it here if it does close the show. I'm telling y'all, I keep saying the same thing. And I'll be up here on this show and be like, I was wrong. But until further notice, don't expect Rock until they're on Netflix. That's how I feel.
I would agree with that.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But if we find out at some point that this is going to main event the show, I'm gonna have some expectations.
That is gonna set the expectations pretty high. It is.
Then when it doesn't happen, I'm just gonna hate everyone.
That's fair.
Lowdown asking, Cody been pinned yet after
No.
Mania? No, not
Mm.
after Mania. The last time he was pinned was by
Solo
Drew
pinned him.
McIntyre.
Solo
before.
pinned him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Money
At
in the
Money in the
Bank.
Bank. I did like the Men in Black thing where I erased that from my memory because of how bad I thought the SummerSlam matchup was, but maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that did happen. You're right. Solo pinned him at Money in the Bank. We got Mark Andre who says Cody is on his Rocky Balboa era.
Lots of Rocky in wrestling right now. I think we need to
Yeah.
chill with the Rocky in wrestling.
A lot of that going around. But let's go to the next matchup we got here. The ladies being represented with
Yes.
one of the two top titles. The other title is also on the line on this show. But for SmackDown, you got the WWE Women's Championship being defended by the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, as she goes one-on-one with Bayley for the title in a rematch from SummerSlam. These two ladies went against each other at SummerSlam after Nia won Queen of the Ring. It was Nia that came out on top thanks to a distraction from Tiffany Stratton, fake cashing in her Money in the Bank contract. The story of Nia's title reign has been centered around her relationship with Tiffany Stratton and Nia being more of a domineering bully to the Tiffany Stratton, while Tiffany has kind of been sympathized a bit with their relationship. Meanwhile, Bayley made her return a couple of weeks back. Since then, she's picked up a victory over Tiffany Stratton. They had a big tag team matchup with Stratton and Jax versus Bayley and Naomi, where if Bayley and Naomi got the pinfall, the person who got the pin would get a shot at Nia at Bad Blood. And if Bayley and Naomi lost, they would be left out or kicked out of SmackDown. It was Bayley and Naomi who got a double pin on the WWE Women's Champion, which led to Bayley versus Naomi on last week's SmackDown, with Bayley picking up the win to earn this opportunity here. What have you thought about the build to this match, Maggie? And who do you think comes out on top as the WWE Women's Champion?
Why? What the fuck
Mm-hmm.
is this? And why? I hate when I'm not interested in a Bailey feud or match or anything. Why isn't Bailey one of the most important women on the SmackDown roster right now? I understand that what they're going for right now is the whole Tiffany Stratton briefcase / bag and Nia Jax thing. I know that they're going with this. But as things transpired during the last 2 weeks of SmackDown, the thing I actually want to see is the feud between a Bayley and a heel Naomi. Because, Bayley got the better of her. And now I really want to see a heel Naomi because I feel like that's the best way that she can get over in the company that she was so over at. She hasn't been clicking for me ever since she got back, and she was an amazing knockouts champion at TNA, and I kind of wanted to go back to that because like when she wrestles as a heel, it should probably bring out something that she's missing right now. Like we saw her as a heel during the
Team
bad
Bad.
Team Bad, yeah, Bad and Beautiful. Oh Jesus,
Beautiful and
such
dangerous.
beautiful and dangerous. What did I say? Bad and beautiful.
That's Team Bad.
Bad, the Team Bad.
Bad. Yeah, sure. So like with Tamina, Sasha Banks, and Naomi, I blacked that out immensely, and I have no idea if she was a good heel or not. I seriously don't remember anything from that. I only remember Sasha Banks for some reason.
That's
So
what they wanted you to do.
this is pretty much. So the fact that I'm excited about something else that has nothing to do with this match whatsoever is enough for you to understand how excited I am about this match. But like, I hope that we get. I want to see. Is it too early for Tiffany Stratton to be a champion?
No.
Because no. Okay. So when do you guys want her to cash in? You know,
Hmm, I would
So
say like Crown Jewel, Survivor Series around that time, before the end of the year for sure.
what will Tiffany Stratton look like in a crown jewel match? Because like that's in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
Pink
do you
Power
think
Ranger.
that Pink Power Ranger, that is the only thing that I will get. I want a Pink Power Ranger, thank you. She can look like someone from the crowd. Oh no, someone's trying to, oh, she has the briefcase and everything. That's a good thing. A Pink Power Ranger, I can go with that. And if she decides to cash in there, I will have zero problem with this. But if she's not cashing on this show, which I don't think that she is, I'm gonna pick Naya because I actually want a heel Naomi to get, to cause Bailey the match.
Okay, so you're calling for the Naomi heel turn here.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. It's something interesting because I don't see them doing
I
anything
want
interesting with Naomi as a baby face.
exactly. I just want Naomi to be a part of the show. I want Naomi to be interesting. That's what I want. I want her on my television. I want her to matter on SmackDown because Tiffany Stratton's out there and she's probably gonna help Nia Jax behind the referee's back, and Naomi can get out in order to to make everyone believe that she's even in the odds when in reality she costs Bailey.
I dig it, Robert.
It's very possible. Here's the problem with all of this. None of it matters. 'Cause what we're waiting for here is the return of Charlotte Flair, who will beat Nia Jax, get cashed in on by Tiffany, so she
Yes.
can beat Tiffany, get 2 more reigns, and then she's going to Mania with Bianca. That's what we're getting here. We're just
No,
waiting. We're just
you
waiting
know,
for this.
I forgot why it's been a while, Robert. Because we crush my dreams all the time.
I know. I apologize. That's why I'm here. But I do think this is just Nia Jax wins. Maybe it's Naomi. I don't know if I want to see a lower card feud for the women because that'll just be endless SmackDown matches. And I kind of think the one thing Naomi has going for her is the big three pairing with Bianca and Jade. And you can't do that if she turns. What you can maybe do is transition Bailey out of this into a tag team with Naomi, going up against the big three, and then maybe that starts to force a bit of a heel turn. But fantasy booking aside, I really just think this is Nia Jax because she's got to hold it for Charlotte.
Yep. I also think that that's probably where we're leading to. And yeah, I'm going with Nia Jax to pick up the victory here. And I agree with most of the people in the chat who said, like I said at the top of the show, I was like, four of the 5 matches have bad blood and should be on this show. This is the 5th match that probably deserved a little bit more to get it in a more heated feud to fit the theme of this show. But I like the fact that the WWE Women's Championship is on this card because we went through Money in the Bank and Queen of the Ring with no WWE Women's Championship matches. And I really felt like that is what really hurt Bayley's run. It felt like WWE did the whole story with Bayley winning the championship against Io Sky at WrestleMania. And then every week after that on SmackDown, they would do, okay, we need something to do with Solo and the Bloodline. We need something to do with Cody Rhodes and the WWE Championship. We need something to do with LA Knight because he's one of our most over guys. Oh, wait. Who's the WWE Women's Champion? Oh, yeah, Bayley. Oh, we'll do something with Bayley. We'll wait a week. We'll wait till next week. We'll get to where we got to do something with this guy. And like they literally just kept putting Bayley as a top priority down and down and down till it wasn't a priority anymore. And it
they had that telegraphed from when she won the Rumble and wasn't on a single poster for WrestleMania. They did not care about Bayley. This was more of a bucket list check for Bayley and a thing for them to say, you see, look at her accolades. But they want that top spot for the women to always be Bianca. and that's why I think they're kind of keeping Bianca level right now with the tag division, so she's not working too hard, because when it's Mania season and we need you to go, they're
Yeah.
gonna have Bianca pushed to the moon.
Yeah, I could see that as well. And I was digging before like Backlash, before Bianca and Jade won the titles, that they were teasing kind of dissension between her and Bailey, but they completely dropped that after Jade and
And that
Bianca
was
won the tag team titles.
interesting.
Yeah,
That was interesting. That was normal behavior. And I'm like, oh my God, people acting like normal people is a thing. Because what exactly how, like, when Jay Uso became a babyface and everyone, like, people were not trusting the guy.
yeah.
Like, Drew McIntyre was like, no, no, like, he did some crap for me. And it was the same with Bianca. She was like, nope, I am not. And then they absolutely, right out of the blue, just scraped it. And I'm like, why?
That would have been something interesting for Bailey as champion, but they were like, no, that's not important to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
But what has been important to WWE as far as storylines has been the ongoing drama between the Judgment Day and the Terror Twins, and that comes to fruition at Bad Blood as one-on-one for the first time since he betrayed him in the World Heavyweight Championship matchup at SummerSlam. It will be Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. These two men are former undisputed tag team champions together. It was Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley who welcomed Finn Balor into the Judgment Day and betrayed their leader Edge to replace him with Finn Balor. They ran roughshod together over WWE and Monday Night Raw for nearly 2 years, but it was at SummerSlam after some dissension ever since Damian Priest won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. It was Finn Balor who finally betrayed him, costing him the title against Gunther. And then from there, we've seen a new Judgment Day come to fruition with Balor at the forefront, along with JD McDonough, Carlito, Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan. And they have been in the kind of the way of the Terror Twins and making their life a living hell on Monday Night Raw. At Bash in Berlin, it was a mixed tag team matchup with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley defeating Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan of the Judgment Day in mixed tag team action. But we have still not seen one-on-one Priest versus Balor. Balor made the challenge for Bad Blood and Priest accepted. And here we are, the big showdown between these two for the first time since they became a tag team 2 years ago. What have you thought about the Judgment Day storyline since SummerSlam, Maggie? Since you're in the camera, and who do you think wins with Balor and Priest?
Listen, I'm still trying to see where you're reading all this crap from because there's no way you're remembering all that.
That's how I just see the picture and I just go whatever comes
It's
to
not
mind.
true. You're a liar, sir. Okay, so okay, what was the question? I was too busy,
What have you thought about the Judgment Day storyline, and who do you think wins between Balor and Priest?
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing, because like I need to explain this to people. So this is, my official notes taking, thingy for our show with Rob and everything. Like I have everything written down in another, notebook, and every Friday before work I rewrite all the stuff because I like when I'm writing in a hurry, it looks like atrocious. So I'm grouping everything together that, stuff that happened throughout the show that has to do with same things. And I've realized for like a long time now that the Judgment Day, the like as a storyline, the Judgment Day have incredibly been, carrying Monday Night Raw because everything has a lot to do with the Judgment Day, all the drama and everything. So I was really out of it for a lot of stuff that the Judgment Day were doing. But like in recent months, it's gotten better for me because the only thing that I don't like is the fact that Finn Balor is trying so hard to look cool when in fact he's such a nerdy little boy, shy and everything, that like he's doing his best to look cool, okay? And everything that he does, the way he talks, the way he held a microphone in NXT like this way, like that was no one talks like that. So probably don't do it. And like he was carrying, the what do you call it? What the mask that you have on your, on your face, the way that, rappers do, the
Oh, the
Bandana.
I don't
bandana.
thank you, the bandana, the way that he was carrying in his back pocket and everything. It just it's so out of character for him because like it's so thin. I don't even know how to say it. It's because like I know like a lot of people that have following Prince Devitt and now Finn Balor throughout his entire career know for a fact that he's really, a way different kind of person, and he's trying so hard to look this way in WWE. It's yeah, here in G. Thank you, Paul Driver Fincher. That is exactly what I should say. Thank you for being in my head. So it's I'm picking Finn Balor here to win. I'm interested to see what the fuss was all about on Monday because like they were having a conversation on his phone. No, he's dealing with some stuff. Like he has some things to do, and also I want to see that load rider, being a part of a storyline because I was having a really hard time last week, and then I put on Raw, and Dominic and Liv arrive in a lowrider, and it's just the goofiest thing I've ever seen. Like Dominic Mysterio trying to look gangster. That was the funniest thing in the world. And like he has the goofiest expression on his face, and I'm like, that's so funny. It's that this is what I'm here for. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Finn Balor, and the match is good. I really want this match to be as awesome as I've built it up in my head to be, because both people are 10 out of 10.
I really want to pick Finn Balor here. I think that if there's anyone on this Bad Blood card that needs a win, it's Finn Balor. Finn Balor has not scored a singles win in WWE since June.
Oh,
June.
June.
And
I thought it
and
was 2015.
I mean, to be fair, it was against Dragon Lee. So against a credible singles win, it's been long. But and I like Dragon Lee. It's just how they book him. I'm sorry, Dragon Lee fans. But Finn Balor needs a win desperately, especially if we're going to see him as the main event star that they're kind of presenting him as the front man for the Judgment Day. He's going to need a singles win. And like Robert kind of said about the Bloodline versus Roman and Cody matchup, I don't see like what's the point of Priest beating him, and how do you continue the feud after that? The babyface won, so you should probably just move on from this feud because this guy's a bum and you're on the rides, Damian Priest. You're a former world champion. This guy couldn't even pick up a briefcase last year when you wanted to help him and to become the world heavyweight champion. He can't beat anybody worth a damn. So it makes more sense for Finn Balor to win to continue the feud, but I can't pick him because of all of that and the fact that he stood tall the last 2 out of 3 weeks against Damian Priest. And Wrestling 101, which is always in my head when doing predictions, says if one guy is up on the go home show, that means they're going to lose at the PLE. So I'm going with Damian Priest, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's probably solid thinking, but realistically, Finn Balor does just need to win here because when's the last time he felt credible? And I understand that Rhea's very popular and her genuine connection with Priest has made Priest very popular, but the objective babyface of any of these players is Balor. People like to cheer Finn Balor, they like Demon Balor. Everything Maggie said rings true. He's not this, hard, angry, bitter kind of guy. Like they're going against the natural way, but that being said, I want to see Priest win because I'm so tired of Judgment Day. The way most people feel about the Bloodline, I feel about the Judgment Day. Judgment Day has been start and stop since they started. They couldn't find their feet with Edge somehow. Edge was trying to help young stars develop, and you couldn't make that work. They finally got around to it right around this year's Mania, and that's of course when they start to break them up. And why is Carlito here? Why, what are they doing? Realistically, what are they doing with Carlito? Why is he there? Oh, because somebody needs to lose that isn't JD, I guess. Break up this group. I'd like to see Rhea beat Liv. I'd like to see Priest beat Balor, and we just kind of move on from this. I'm tired of Judgment Day. That being said, everything that I feel doesn't matter, so I'm gonna go from Balor.
There we go. I love how we both did the same thing, where we made the case for the other guy and then picked the other guy in the end. Lovely stuff. This is why people come here for previews.
It really is.
Nothing matters. I'm picking Finn Balor anyway.
Carlito is an 80 overall in WWE 2K. I see that comment here in the comment section. I just don't know what he's doing. Like, they got him super hot last year in Puerto Rico, and then they waited 6 months till all of that shit cooled off completely to have this guy come back for what?
To be a goof. He's the goof. He's the comedy relief.
And I mean, for real, get your money. This is not a knock against Carlito. Get paid. But on camera, why are you here? Go.
Well, I can tell you why. It was really entertaining, and by really entertaining, I mean I did when I saw it. While they were celebrating in the ring, someone from production tossed an apple at him, and he took it, bit it, and then just returned it. And I was like, "Ha."
They have a year's supply of apples. They need Carlito.
Yeah. Yes.
They need Carlito.
Promoting healthy lifestyle and eating apples.
Yeah, that is exactly what Carlito is doing. He's promoting a healthy lifestyle.
Oh man!
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Great question. Why is Carlito even here?
I mean, and again, he is a great legend of his time. He deserves that paycheck. I'm just saying the way they're using him, I can think of about 5 better ways.
I agree. On the other end of the Judgment Day Terra Twin spectrum, you have the WWE Women's World Championship up for grabs as Liv Morgan defends against Rhea Ripley with Dominic Mysterio locked inside of a shark cage. This graphic is one of the best things WWE has done because they have Dominic Mysterio in the shark cage with his tongue out. But this all stems from a long storied feud between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. They were actually tag team partners prior to Rhea Ripley joining the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan was the last person to pin Rhea Ripley before she went on a run, on a tear in the Judgment Day, winning the Royal Rumble, winning the WWE Women's World Championship, holding it for over a year. But Liv Morgan made her return at the beginning of the year with the quest of the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour to get revenge on Rhea Ripley, who took her out in 2023, injuring her shoulder. She spent 6 months on the shelf and came back looking for vengeance, and she eventually got it when she injured Rhea Ripley, costing her the Women's World Championship, having her relinquish the title due to injury. And then she decided she's going to take everything else from Rhea Ripley. She started seducing Dominic Mysterio, started getting in the favor of the rest of the Judgment Day, and that led to SummerSlam, where Liv Morgan defeated Rhea Ripley, thanks in large part to Dominic Mysterio, and she took her place in the Judgment Day, taking the entire group away from Rhea Ripley. But that hasn't stopped Ripley from coming back after Liv Morgan since then. She picked up the victory, pinning Liv at WWE Bash in Berlin in the aforementioned mixed tag team matchup with Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest to earn this opportunity here for the Women's World Championship with no Dominic Mysterio involved because he'll be hanging above the ring inside a shark cage. Can Rhea Ripley regain the title she never lost? Robert.
Now, first of all, I want to say that is very optimistic of you to claim that he's not going to be involved. We know how this
Gonna be a
works.
lot.
He's going to try everything he can. He's going to be dropping chains. He might try to wiggle out of the shark cage. I mean, I- you know, the only concern I have is that if you don't go with Ripley winning here, Raw is a very heel dominated show for the women. Who does Liv Morgan face if she gets by Ripley again? You can't run back Lyra, I don't think. I don't think Lyra's at that level. I think you would have to go with Ripley just to interject new stories, but then I would feel bad that, you know, oh, hey, Liv, thanks for kind of carrying the show for a little bit. Ripley's back full time. Get out of here. I'd feel bad about that. So I'm kind of a toss up here, but I think Ripley deserves to just win. Get the moment where you hit Dom with the Riptide somehow and just kind of move on because there's Sonya Deville, you've got Bianca and Jade who can go between both shows, maybe get some Ripley Bianca action. There's other matches for her and not so much for Liv Morgan. So on that alone, I think Ripley's going to win.
I was really under the belief that Rhea Ripley was going to win when they made the stipulation. But I also am under the belief that the Judgment Day nor the Terror Twins will get a clean sweep on this show. So if I'm going with Damian Priest, I got to go with Liv Morgan here. And I think the way to do that and to have a clean break for now between Liv and Rhea is that this teasing that Finn Balor has done on Raw Talk, saying that the Judgment Day is always changing and whatnot, it leads to the newest member of the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez, returning to have the back of Liv Morgan as her heater, and she interferes to help Liv Morgan retain the title. And then you can parlay that into Rhea and Raquel having a little mini feud in between, Rhea coming back to Liv probably at the beginning of next year. I think that's it. I think it would be kind of like something if you just had Rhea win the title back. I mean, necessarily that might happen, but I think the better option is to have Liv keep the title and try to pull some of these baby faces that don't have a lot of personality up a little bit, like a Lyra Valkyria. You don't know when Becky Lynch is going to come back. That's also another option if or when she's going to come back to WWE. So there is options for Liv if you want to keep her as the champion. I think there's more interesting options than you said Sonya Deville, and I would have been with you about 3 months ago before she became the leader of Pure Fusion Collective, one of the worst stable names in wrestling history.
How do you
After that,
remember that name?
I remember it because it's seared in my brain. It's like PTSD of like I had horrible wrestling names stuck in my head, and Pure Fusion Collective seems to be at the top of it. I have never seen a stable name that has made a whole group that I was interested in before they gave them a name and made them dead on arrival with a name. I've never seen that before. That's a first in professional wrestling for me, but I am not interested in anyone in that group now. And I love Shayna Baszler. I'm the biggest Shayna Baszler fan you could find in the game, but she's in a DOA group right now. And they need to get this name off of them and probably just split them up because I don't know how much TV time they're going to get on a 2-hour Raw. But I think Liv gets the win, and we see the return of Raquel Rodriguez, and she becomes the newest member of the Judgment Day.
I do want to shout you out for watching Raw Talk because I wasn't aware that Finn Balor has been teasing Judgment Day changing on Raw Talk because I have to draw the line somewhere. And that's
I saw a
that's the
clip
line.
on Twitter. It's a clip on Twitter. I don't watch Raw Talk. Trust me, people. I don't have that much time.
Trust me, I draw the line even further at Twitter than I do on watching a YouTube Raw Talk video. But that being said, I like that idea a lot more if it gets Raquel back in the mix at a high level.
Yeah, I agree there.
I just really hope that Raquel Rodriguez is healthy enough to come back. I will take it any way I can, but I am picking Liv here because again, the whole conversation that went down on this week's Raw, on the phone with Finn Balor. He's taking care of stuff, and he's late because he's taking care of stuff. Like they're cooking something, and I don't see Rhea Ripley winning. I love Rhea Ripley, but shenanigans will shenan. Okay.
Again.
Yeah. Again, yes.
Shenanigans are gonna get. I love that.
Yeah. Shenanigans are gonna shagan. Yes.
Shagan. I love Chase saying SB3 and I spend a lot of time laughing at the PFC. I mean, PFC has probably been my LVP for Monday Night Raw for a good 2 months. Every time they're on the show, I feel so bad. I like all of them.
I like them too.
They're amazing, but like, why? If we hadn't talked about Pure Fusion Collective, I would not know what this PFC is. Just
what is this? A fried chicken place?
It's not working. It's not working.
Pennsylvania fried chicken?
No, Plovdiv fried chicken in my home place. Yeah, that's
there you go. There you go. And the rules of a shark cage match is the person is in a shark cage hanging above the ring. That's pretty much the rules of
Do you think that Liv Morgan tosses Dominic some lubricant and then he can squeeze off?
I could see that. I could see him doing an Enzo Amore and putting
yeah,
baby oil on himself. I could see Dom throwing down some brass knuckles to Liv, like, or a chain, like Robert said. I could see stuff like that, but I think that the more interesting thing is having like Raquel Rodriguez return and she be the factor that helps them win.
The interesting thing is that they can make him at the very last moment before they take up the cage in the air, they can make him be handcuffed.
Well, you can't make him relive all of his trauma.
You should. I can't go back there. Yeah.
That was a great sell by him, by the way. When they told him he's in a shark cage, he's like, I can't go back.
I can't go back there. And I'm like, why is this working so well?
He's one of the best characters in wrestling. He's so good. He's so good. All right. It is time. It is time, y'all. Yes. What all the hype for Bad Blood is about, it is about the return of Hell in a Cell. For the first time in over 18 months in WWE, since WrestleMania 39 last year, the Hell in a Cell returns. And for the first time in, I think, 7-8 years, it's not red. It's a regular Hell in a Cell.
There's no way they did that for 8 years.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my God. Ugh.
So it was at least 2017, 2018, something like that. So 6-7 years. Yes, it will be CM Punk one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. This whole rivalry kickstarted at the Royal Rumble when Drew McIntyre hit the Future Shock DDT on CM Punk, injuring him, having him tear his bicep in the triceps or tricep in the process. This led to Punk being on the show for nearly 6 months. On the night after the 2 nights after the Royal Rumble, CM Punk let us know that he was going to be out for a while and had to miss WrestleMania, where he had the goal to main event WrestleMania. All the reports alluded to Punk versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, possibly headlining night 1 of WrestleMania. And Drew McIntyre was the one that took it all away when he let Punk know, I prayed for this and it happened. And then further injured Punk's shoulder triceps by stomping on it. This led to him talking trash about Punk, becoming a Twitter god by playing him on social media, making memes and whatnot, playing the mind games with CM Punk until Punk returned ahead of WrestleMania to announce that he would be sitting ringside for Drew McIntyre challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre got the job done, beating Seth, becoming the World Heavyweight Champion, and winning a world title in front of fans for the first time for him. He celebrated with his wife. He kissed his wife, but he couldn't just walk away and celebrate. He had to gloat in front of CM Punk,
who tripped him on the announce table, injuring his elbow in the process, and then hit him with his brace, which led to Damian Priest cashing in Money in the Bank and taking the World Heavyweight Championship. So Drew's reign only lasted just about 5 minutes. This led to Punk playing mind games with Drew McIntyre after that, getting drafted before him in the WWE draft this year. And then Punk added insult to injury. Drew McIntyre didn't even get revenge yet for WrestleMania. And CM Punk travels all the way to Scotland to screw over Drew McIntyre again at Clash at the Castle, where he lost to Damian Priest. This led to Drew fake quitting from WWE, only just a couple of days later returning in Chicago, in Punk's hometown, and beating him down, bloodying him in front of the fans in Chicago, and took away his bracelet that said his wife's name and dog's name, which would become a crucial factor in the rest of this feud. This led to Money in the Bank, where Drew won the men's Money in the Bank contract. He cashed in later in the night with Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest, and Punk returned to cost Drew the World Heavyweight Championship for a third time. This led to SummerSlam, where they met in the ring for the very first time, with Drew McIntyre coming up with the win after Punk was distracted with Seth Rollins picking up his bracelet. He took back the bracelet once again. This led to Bash in Berlin in a strap match where Punk finally beat Drew, but not really. He just touched 4 corners because WWE didn't learn that that's not a good way to have a strap match. So Punk thought touching 4 corners was enough to end this rivalry after he took back the bracelet. So Drew McIntyre attacked him just a couple of days later on Monday Night Raw, took the bracelet, broke it apart, put the beads in Punk's mouth, which was resting against his nuts just a few days earlier, and Punk kissed it after that. Just wanted to note that as well. He put it in Punk's mouth. Claymore kicked him, stretching him out of the building, and it led to Hell in a Cell being made for Bad Blood, where both men have promised they're going to make each other bleed. CM Punk said, "You prayed for this, and at Hell in a Cell, you're going to not be praying to a god or the devil. You're going to be praying to me." Maggie, 10 months of a rivalry, the hottest rivalry in WWE probably this year. What have you thought about this build? Who do you think wins on Saturday?
Okay, so first of all, next year when I come for Forbidden Door, and if you're still in London, we are still doing a live show just so I can see if you're cheating or not and reading from a card. Second, you cannot know all of this.
No, he
and
can.
Hey, I can.
He
Really
can.
good at trivia. First
You guys
ever
suck.
Black Quizlemania champion and Survival Series champion, and the first Black Sports Kita trivia champion.
That's because
Okay,
you
you
cheated.
guys-
That you did cheat because I was there and you cheated me.
It's because they did a Royal Rumble style, and they didn't know that SP3 means that I have
He had
3
3
personas.
personalities.
I have 3 faces of SP3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one are we getting now?
You're getting an SP3. There's SP1, there's SP2, and then there's SP3.
What are they doing right now?
They're like his cousins from a
Well, in
far off
actuality,
land.
they're in heaven. But when I want to play a Royal Rumble style trivia game, then I become all 3 personas. Yeah.
Okay. So that's Jesus. What were we talking about? The match?
Hell in a
okay.
Cell.
Punk,
Yeah, Hell in a
Punk
Cell.
and McIntyre, Hell in a Cell.
But Bucky McIntyre. Okay, I can go with that. Okay, so the bracelet. I would like to know one person that was enjoying the bracelet. Just one. It made it.
I thought it was fine. It was fine. People overplayed this so much. It was a fine angle that I think people just wanted to be salty about. I mean, like, it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but I know for a fact it's going to play into Bad Blood and his gear for Bad Blood. I saw the little beads on Instagram, so he's working on that. And I thought it was cool. It gave everybody a little, moment where they were like, "Yay, friendship bracelet." It's harmless.
Yeah, but like my problem was that because he saw Seth Rollins putting it on his hand because it was lying around in the ring. That by itself was stupid because Seth Rollins, when he was a special guest referee, had about 15 pockets on its pants, and he chose to put it on his his hand.
He's a
So
fashionista, Maggie.
fashionista, yeah, sure. What was I thinking? So uh at obviously, like CM Punk was going for a GTS, but like he saw Seth Rollins, with the bracelet on, and then he stopped. This was my problem with the bracelet, because they used it to make excuses for their bad fucking decisions. And as a bartender, everyone tries to blame me for their bad decisions. Do you want another beer? Yeah, sure, I want another beer. You can say no. It's up to you to say no. I'm a bartender and I get paid percentage of what I make. So my plus is for you to spend more money, but you can easily say no. I will not say you will not leave this bar if you don't drink 1,000 beers and at least 2 bottles of tequila. That's not how it works. You can leave anytime you want. Okay. So they chose to, you know, to make bad decisions. And who is the bracelet? It's not the bracelet, it's you fucker. So at this point, when the bracelet was no more, and I was like, okay, so now we can go back to, to the basics. And, this week, for whatever fucking reason, they had the cell there, probably only to make us see that it's the normal cell and not the red cell, because it had like nothing about the cell mattered on Raw. Like they did nothing with it. They were like, yeah, I hope you're happy, guys, because it's not red anymore. So here's the cell, bye. And like that's it. That's all they did. So Punk was like, I don't have anything more to say to you, Drew. And then he kept talking for 20 minutes. Like
I
that's
said the same thing.
basically
I was like, every time Punk lies, I'm gonna tell him when he's telling lies, and he lies.
Yes, you are telling lies, Philip. Okay. So I think that CM Punk totally wins this match. I don't want him to win this match. I want Drew to win the match. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna go with Punk. Punk had started talking about Gunther back in the day because he was about to call out Gunther. I wonder when they're gonna make this a thing. But yeah, I'm going with Punk. The sad thing that I realized while watching Raw this week is that I think I'm pretty much done with CM Punk, because I was the biggest mark for CM Punk like years ago when he was in WWE with Paul Heyman and everything, and I was rooting for him against Undertaker, and I was so mad when he wasn't the one to beat the guy. And then he went away. I was praying every Royal Rumble. I prayed that I'm going to hear the thing. Exactly how now I'm praying every Royal Rumble that I'm going to see AJ Lee again. It's never going to happen. But like then he returned to AEW and I'm like, okay, shit's about to get real. And then they had some shenanigans there. And then he came back to WWE and I'm like, he can do okay there. He can do okay there because probably I'm not going to defend the guy. I'm not going to blame the guy, but I'm sure that he knows that if he flops here, he has nowhere to go. So if it's okay for him because it's truly okay for him and not because he's holding back, I don't care. He's there. He's making money. He's making people watch the product. He's making merch sales. That's the only thing that matters for me. But I think I'm done. He makes the things interesting. But I was so mad watching NXT today because that entire main event between Ethan Page and Trick Williams was totally built around CM Punk, and he was not the one that mattered in this match, and it was all that mattered in the match when you look at it, in a certain perspective. And I'm mad about that because this isn't what NXT is about. I hate special guest referees as a whole. That they're stupid. They're made for you to not pay attention to the match at hand. You're going to pay attention to the special guest referee. Also, a special guest referee pretty much promises that the match isn't going to be that good. Like, it doesn't matter. You're just going to look at the special guest referee and he's all everything that matters. So I'm pretty much having Punk fatigue right now. And it's stupid because I feel like all his promos after he came back are exactly the same. And that's not how you do it. Either turn the guy heel because he was always better as a heel, or do something different right now. It's making me mad because I was a huge CM Punk fan. And now I feel like I'm betraying myself, while in reality, I cannot for the life of me lie to myself and try to gaslight myself into thinking that I'm entertained by CM Punk right now.
Hey, you broke it down. You broke it down very, very well.
That was really well said, first and foremost.
Thank you.
I am one of those people who, and I come up against this all the time because there are a lot of people who are just like, after the AEW stuff, outside the ring, they're just completely, Punk's not it for me. And I'll say this, I miss Punk in AEW. I miss weekly Punk matches. I thought he was doing fine there, outside stuff aside. But I don't hate him in WWE. Like, I understand that people feel like the entire notion of him going back strips away everything that they think CM Punk was, so every bit of his words feels shallow. That being said, he's making money. He's happier. It's not the same regime. He did actually get a lot of change, and a lot of things that are the way they are now are because I think he opened people's eyes, and Triple H, once he took off the wrestler hat and put on the I need to keep these people happy hat, said, okay, maybe I can actually incorporate a lot of this. But my concern when I'm watching Punk is Punk between the ropes, and he can still go. I'm just so worried that every time I see him wrestle now, I'm like, don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Please, God, don't get hurt. And if he can make it out of Hell in a Cell with McIntyre, which I do think he's going to win, because Babyface should just go over at this point, I think he's going to face Gunther at Survivor Series. I do think he is enough of a man of his word that he won't go to Saudi. So I see him facing.
Oh man, if he goes to Saudi Arabia,
if he goes to Saudi, he's going to have a lot of problems. But I think he'll go and face Gunther at Survivor Series. One of the things I think this match is missing is the definitive declarative statement, winner of this match gets a championship match. Not that it needs it, but it allows a smooth transition from here to the next thing. And we already know that both men have their eyes on gold. I love Bad Blood for Hell in a Cell matches. I think 27 years to the day of the birth of Hell in a Cell and the first Bad Blood show, I think the one thing that match had that this doesn't, besides the legacies of Michaels and Taker, is that idea that no matter what happens here, they're done because somebody's going to Survivor Series to challenge for the title. And I think that's what this match needs. But to some of other Maggie's points about like the bracelet and stuff, I think Punk, and they tried to play it like this, but it's funnier when you think about what happened right after the bracelet. I think he's just a very sentimental guy.
That's stupid.
He couldn't bring Larry to shows for reasons unknown. And isn't it funny that he got so crazy over the bracelet with his wife's and his dog's name on it that as soon as that got broken, okay, we're gonna let him bring Larry to shows just so that he doesn't absolutely
in a baby carriage.
In a baby carriage, and it's great. Larry is a 5-star dog, I'm sure, and I think that's just what it is. It's a man trying to tell constantly the story of redemption, and Jesus, don't bring that asshole out of me, because if you get what you're asking for, you're not gonna like it, and you're gonna be the first one to cry about it.
The Kevin Owens thing.
What? Yeah, exactly. The Kevin Owens thing. And I think that's the best way to tell this story, because now we actually got a 10-month program, as SP3 laid out perfectly, that was not on anyone's fucking radar. There's no way that outside of maybe an interaction in the Elimination Chamber that it was like Punk and McIntyre is going to be a major rivalry. And now this might be one of his most significant rivalries for a generation of fans. So in that way, I think they accomplished their goal, but I'm ready to see them move on because we only have a finite amount of time with CM Punk, and I'd like to see him wrestle some other people.
100% agree with the both of y'all because I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not completely done with CM Punk like Maggie, but I do understand that a lot of his mystique, a lot of his aura was kind of hurt and damaged with his run and the outside stuff in AEW. I thought the on the screen stuff, he was great. It was great to have Punk back. The MJF program was awesome. I like the fact that we got to see CM Punk get back to the top and win the AEW World Championship. And we were robbed of the third matchup between him and MJF for the title that would have probably culminated if he didn't do Brawl Out and everything that transpired after All Out 2022. But I am not completely done with him, but I do 100% understand the fact that CM Punk needs to be motivated. He needs to not be complacent. I 100% in with Maggie. Every promo starting out with, it's a great night on a Monday night to be in Providence. Oh my God. I have never cringed so much. Anytime CM Punk says that, I cringe and I grab my remote. And I'm so, if I didn't have to come on here and talk about shows that CM Punk was on, I would turn the fucking channel every single time he says that. Because I know for a fact we're not getting the genuine article CM Punk. And yes, there is a part that is him telling the story of, you don't want me to push you to that asshole because you're going to be the first one that cries about it. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy. But as a wrestling fan and a viewer of the product, that's the CM Punk that feels the most genuine to me. And the fact of the matter is, I want to thank here, live on air, Paul Levesque. And the fact that we've been hearing these reports that there has been a question about what's going to headline Bad Blood. Because I think that's the whole reason we've gotten serious CM Punk over the last 3 weeks, is that the fact that Paul Levesque is not only letting it leak out to the sources and to the reports that he's debating which matchup he wants to have, he's telling CM Punk, I'm not too sure we're going to headline with you in Hell in a Cell. And CM Punk is just steaming when he walks away, and then Triple H turns around to Bruce Pritchard like, had to get the good CM Punk. He's laughing because we all know Hell in a Cell should main event this show, and there shouldn't even be a discussion and a question about it. But I think this is what Paul Levesque needed to do to say to CM Punk to get him to take this shit seriously. Because you spent a whole 10 months with this rivalry, with all the intensity, and you going across the country to screw this man over, but you've been laughing and joking. You cut a whole promo after this man had your bracelet that you care about so much, where you talked about, hey, little Jimmy came to see me at the Fanatics Fest, and he's recovering from cancer. And I love the fan, and he came all the way to see me. And I love you guys over here, even on the hard camera side. And I love you guys over here, over there. And then eventually he was like, oh yeah, you know what? I want a strap match with Drew McIntyre. He took like fucking 10 minutes, and I wanted to pull my fucking hair out hearing him talk about everything except from this heated rivalry. And it was, oh my God, I'm still get PTSD when I think about that promo, that he wasted 10 minutes of my life before he eventually got to challenging him for a strap match, a serious
no women's match, but like 10 minutes of this.
I have to breathe because that promo will live with me for a long time, and how upset I was. So thank you, Paul Levesque, for lying to CM Punk and making it a discussion of what you're going to headline the show, because we wouldn't have got that great promo 3 weeks ago. We wouldn't have got that great promo on Monday between these two guys. You needed to get this CM Punk ahead of Hell in a Cell, and they've done an excellent job of selling the danger, the severity of Hell in a Cell. This feels like a Hell in a Cell from 97 to 2009 instead of post 2009, when it just became a match that they would have on a pay-per-view because the pay-per-view name was Hell in a Cell. This feels like the genuine article of why we built Hell in a Cell as the most dangerous stipulation you can have in WWE. So thank you to Drew, thank you to Punk, thank you to Triple H for putting this all together. But yes, after this, these guys got to separate, but I'm going with CM Punk to win.
I think, and if Punk doesn't win, it needs to be by some sort of interference that allows him to move on. And I don't see anybody with mythical powers like a Kane to get into a cage. So I don't think we're going that route.
We
But
have spooky Scottish witches.
we do have spooky Scottish witches, but I don't know how
And
that
the Wyatt Six
plays
haven't been
into-
on TV in a while.
Yes.
You know, you know what? Actually, at that point, I would rather Punk just get injured and retire. Let me clear. I have zero interest in seeing that happen out of the blue. Where I think, since you brought them up, I'll say here's where I think they're going. There was a symbol behind Nick Aldis. They're talking about serpents in their QR codes. I think they're going for Cody. I think they're going for Randy and Cody, and they're gonna sow those seeds of dissension. But I have no interest in seeing CM Punk do that right now. We need to get him in the ring with like Randy or someone who is going to bring out like a great wrestling style feud. They're not going to go with Rollins yet because I think they still want that for Mania, maybe.
Yeah.
But good lord, you just mentioned that. Now I'm genuinely worried that this show closes
Yes.
with the Wyatt Six attacking CM
Damn
Punk.
it.
And
Damn it.
like look, I think they're doing really good work, but I think that if they're gonna do it, it's not with Punk. And to all your guys' points, because I get why you're frustrated, but that's exactly why I'm saying, damn it, I love what we got in AEW. He was there weekly, he cared, he knows he can just coast. He knows he can just say, it's a great night to be alive in Phoenix. and I get it. He's doing the whole, I'm on a redemption path. I'm not a bitter son of a bitch. And unfortunately, we just want to see a bitter son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Because that makes for good TV. So
Yes.
however we get there is where we need to go.
Absolutely agree with you.
But here's the thing: if Hell in a Cell the match ends with the Wyatt Six, attacking CM Punk, this is gonna be an amazing way to end the show if nothing else followed it. Because the way that it's gonna work out will not work for me, because I don't want the Wyatts to, because Punk's gonna beat their ass at some point, and I do not want that to happen. The really, really awful thing is that Ilya Dragunov is injured from a match at the house show. Otherwise, I would have gladly seen CM Punk versus Ilya Dragunov, because we've seen CM Punk in the ring with those sorts of wrestlers, but not in the caliber of Ilya Dragunov. I just really want to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's sad. I'm gonna miss Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah,
Not that they showed him on television in any way in the last couple of months, but like I knew that he was always gonna be there, and now he's not, and that's
Hey, they were building a program with him in Judgment Day on Raw, and then gets hurt. It sucks.
Yeah.
yes. I
Lots of
blame
knee
Judgment
injuries.
Day.
Lots of knee injuries, and I'm very worried about that for everybody
Yeah,
in this company.
Yeah.
6
But
to 8 to 9 months, and now he's back in half a year, and I'm like, yay.
It's like we gotta wait that long for Ilya Dragunov greatness, man. Sad, but I hope he has a speedy recovery. But we've made it to the end of our Bad Blood preview. That was so much fun. You two made me smile, made me laugh way too much on a show that's Bad Blood, and it's gonna have a lot of blood, hopefully, in Hell in a Cell. But to answer the question in the headline, do you think we're gonna get both men bleeding on Saturday, Maggie?
The CM Punk pretty much bleeds every time he blinks, so yeah, he's gonna bleed. Drew McIntyre, okay. I hope that both people bleed.
They're
But
both.
to answer the other question, I don't think Cody and Roman will coexist. You can see coexisting every Friday.
Good plug.
I see what you did there. I do think they're going to bleed. And moreover, I think that because we're in a new time, we're not going to stop the damn match for 10 minutes like Finn Balor and Edge. We're almost
Yes.
going, at this point, I don't want to see them wrestle. If you're going to wrestle in Hell in a Cell, you're going to bleed. I understand we're in a new era. I don't care. Nor do wrestling fans, by the way, because I just watched Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, and wrestling fans aren't worried about blood. They're not. And no, they will not coexist because. But what fun would there be if Cody and Roman coexisted? But you can watch coexisting every Friday at, what is it, 4 p.m. over on Fightful Overbooked?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. over at Fightful Overbooked. She's with a different Rob. It's not me, but you can catch me on Fightful every single day writing articles.
Shameless plug for everyone. I love it. I love it. But thank you guys for joining me today. I want to thank everybody who joined us live, sending those super chat donations or those comments in the live chat. Always appreciate y'all guys. If you're watching us on demand, let us know your predictions for WWE Bad Blood in the comments down below. Maggie, you're up first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and get another cheap plug in.
Guys, you can follow me on Twix, Twitter, X, I don't give a fuck anymore, at Maggie_IK, and on Instagram at Maggie.IK. Every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern on Fightful Overbooked, I co-host the show with Robert Wilkins. It's called Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. It's about an hour of all sorts of shenanigans. It's basically not a wrestling show. Also, please subscribe to Fightful Select. It is the best $5 in the business that you're ever going to get. A lot of accurate reporting for both Sean and our British friend Corey Michaels. Oh my God, Corey Michaels.
Corey Brennan.
Corey Brennan.
Corey Brennan. Jesus. Well, because I'm thinking of our other friend Corey Michaels, and that's
Yes.
that's yeah, I have to text him now. This was great. Thank you, Corey. I'm sending kisses your way. So yes, this is pretty much it. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I always enjoy being on screen with SP3.
Always enjoy having you, Maggie, and also enjoy having the good brother Robert. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Yep, you can see it right there. It's at Dude Felice on all the social platforms. You can go to dudefelice.com for just a regular hub of all things for me, and more stuff on that to come later. Fightful Select, as Maggie said, is the best $5 in the business. Not only are you getting great reporting from Sean, early interviews from Sean, and great reporting from Corey, but you're also helping out the team, which helps out me, and selfishly, I'd like you to do that. And of course, like I said, find me every single day writing up news over at Fightful.com. And yeah, I love being here, and I hope I get to come back.
You will. You would, good sir. I always like calling on you, having a good time, as well as Maggie and all of you who are joining us live. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat is a good place to support us when we are not live here. $3 a month gets you exclusive content and the best way to support the team that we have over here. And of course, check out all the great content we got on the channel right now. We have pay-per-view reviews like our NJPW Destruction in Kobe 2024 review with myself, Sanal, and Jay News. Check out the flagship podcast every Saturday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. This past week, we had Mark Hoke from the Mark Hoke Show, as well as Professor Chris of the NWA podcast. Check out Rated Raw Review, reviewing Monday Night Raw every Tuesday at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with myself and Romeo. And check out this week's show and join us live on Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, early start time for our WWE Bad Blood watch party hosted by Romeo. The Around the Point gang will be there as well, and we'll have a bunch of fun. And join us, of course, before then for the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. I will be here live tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with AE Ramble reviewing AEW Dynamite with Jimmy Macaram. But until then, for Maggie, for Robert, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE Bad Blood 2024 preview. We are signing off until next time.